What's up, everybody? Welcome to The List, where I break down the latest Denver Nuggets game. Let's get into the clips.
An example of just defensive principles. So you're going to have Michael Porter guarding Troy Brown Jr., shooting 29% from three. He's also a 33% career three-point shooter. He's in the corner. And then you get Aaron Gordon here walking into this, and you see the screen coming, this little delay screen. He's got to be able to already be jumping it, because you're going to see as soon as he goes for it, LeBron's going to attack, and now it's open. So if you have a better stunt here, again, 29% three-point shooter, you can afford to dare LeBron to pass. And then if you're better prepared for, okay, they're setting the screen here, get in position early. Instead, you're late, so now Jokic has to make up for you. And the last sin is, because it already looks like LeBron has a lane to the basket, Aaron Gordon doesn't veer in front of the defender. So when you do get this switch, you still try to beat your defender to the inside so that you don't have a 2-on-1. At least you make it a little bit easier. So here you're going to see AG just does stops, and he gives up the dunk. LeBron actually misses. Again, you have a stunt here. If you're better positioned on the catch, these things don't happen. So you have two mistakes already. Now Jokic needs to make up for this, which is he's not going to do. But LeBron still misses somehow. But again, AD in the way. Several mistakes on one play.
So these are the plays. You're going to watch this backside with Michael Porter and Christian Braun, this exchange. See, it looks like a little flare screen and slip, and then it turns into a foul. Now, if we watch this, this is all just about communication, because typically a flare screen, you would switch this action. But when no contact is made, in fact, he reads like right, the timing, by the way, from Matt Ryan is perfect. Right as you get past the initial line of defense, make this. So he comes in here and slips. And Christian Braun, you see him turn his head here. Right there. He just turns his head and he sees him. So in his mind, there's a guy coming up. It's a switch. Michael Porter never calls anything out. I assume I turned the volume up as loud as I could. But, based on how they both react here, he's assuming there's nothing, and then the defense comes behind. And then you can see Christian Braun walk over to him and say, like, hey, man, like, call this out. You're leaving me out to dry here. And I think he's right. Defense is half about knowing where to go and then half about communicating where to go, and just no communication here. Christian Braun's sort of in an impossible spot. And given that Christian Braun almost never makes these types of lapses, and just given how that one goes, I'm inclined to think there was no communication on that play, and that's what led to 2 easy points.
All right, here's a little two-man game with Jokic and Murray. Murray just misses the floater. We actually watched this one. I think he's going to get a little bit better at this gather dribble. Keep one more dribble here instead of pick it up there. You get one more dribble, you're going to be able to force this defender. He gets to play in between. Remember, this is a 2-on-1, so you got to make him pick. He doesn't really. He's in between, so Jamal goes to the floater, and he misses it. I do think he'll make those more going on, but here's where really the play breaks down. Jokic in transition, Aaron Gordon in transition. You're going to see Aaron Gordon just such a slow break on the ball. I mean, they have the ball clearly, and he's just walking back, jogging back. Jokic, for whatever reason, pointing here, chasing Russ, and has no idea that the defender is now attacking him. Now he figured it out, and now it's a layup. But if we watch this again, if Aaron Gordon just sprints back, he's going to affect this play. And if Jokic is more aware in transition, he's going to affect this play. Here's AG. Again, one step separates and allows this to get open. But if we watch his break on this, just half effort. Now he's like, oh, crap, I should have been running. These are the plays Michael Malone's talking about. You can talk about all the defensive things you want, but plays like this, when you just give up layups out of nothing, that's what really affects your defensive rating.
Jokic a little nonchalant. LeBron just makes a good play, but then the effort in defense. You got Jeff Green here, and it looks like he's calling out. He wants Jokic to switch on to LeBron, which I just would not be telling him to do. Jokic clearly doesn't want that. Both guys leave LeBron wide open in transition. Michael Malone gets a timeout. I think this one probably leans on Jokic a little bit. It's a tough spot to be in. If you sprint back from here, you can maybe get to position you need in time. But instead, LeBron does a good job of just, all right, they're not matched up in transition. Either, with LeBron stopping here to pop, either both guys are going to run out, AD is going to get a dunk, none of them are going to move out, or you're going to force Jokic to go out, and then Anthony Davis has to out-rebound Jeff Green, and that's 80-20. AD is going to grab that one. So bad effort to start the transition, puts you in a pickle, and then you pay for it in the worst way, 3 points. And by the way, this was at a 6-point game with 8 minutes. Like, this is where Denver kind of got it where you thought you might win. But a play like that pushes it to 9, and all of a sudden 9 points in 9 minutes is tough to make up. Transition defense from Denver here. LeBron's on the ground. 3 guys back. You have good floor balance. All 5 guys are at the foul line or below.
We only got 2 guys that are below there for Denver. So should we get a transition layup? All right, Bruce probably can step out a little bit here to stop the ball. But more than anything, DeAndre just needs to sprint back and get to the paint to protect it. So here he is. He just walls up thinking he has no one. And then his guy sneaks right past him. Watch DeAndre again. Get back, get to the paint. Jogs, turns, does not identify. Yeah. And you got KCP who has a shooter out here, so he's matched up on the shooter. Lakers have a hard time scoring in the half court, but you give them those just because of lazy defense. That's how they score. Good 2-man game here with Jokic and Murray. Get the defender going over, attack downhill. You have this flare screen, so LeBron has to, sink in the paint here, but you have a Michael Porter option. And Murray does a great job of making the big commit and then using the offhand, deliver the pass. Watch it again. It's a classic 2-man game between these two guys. More Jokic, Murray 2-man game. Basic screen, goes under, behind the back. Let's watch it again. Shooters, Aaron Gordon on the far side. A little behind the back. You see that? Oop. And one. These plays are important. You see Michael Porter just gets to the wing, sees an opportunity to run into this dribble handoff, and then goes right up. Even though if you look at this, he doesn't get his defender's still there, still runs out at him, but because he's so tall and his shot's so high, he just doesn't have to think about it. I think this is one opportunity for him to just read and go. If the actual player he's going to read is going to be Anthony Davis, because this guy running around, so you're reading Jokic's guy. If he jumps out at you, you're going to have a chance for the short roll. If not, this guy going under a screen is just never going to block your shot. There are examples of MPJ should just have a little bit better footwork and preparation. You see he ends up having to take, and he misses this one. I mean, he still makes these more often than not, but if you watch the footwork here, boom, 1-2, shoot. Nope, instead dribble, drift left, and then LeBron's able to get his hand right at the shot. He might have even tipped this one, but again, it should have never taken that long. Whoops. Just go in, boom, nope, dribble. And that dribble doesn't really create any extra separation. It doesn't really give you an advantage. Good example of how Michael Porter with a little bit better footwork will get these shots off. He's here. I mean, you can see how late he is to break. But now they just have the screwed up switch, and you have a little screen coming. Shoot this one. 6'10", good release, on the catch, in rhythm, good angle from the wing. Instead, he creates more space by getting to the corner off movement, and the shot drifts to the left as his body drifts. It's just a tougher shot. I mean, he's capable of making all of them. I still think he's more capable of making this one. Plus, there's this added benefit you're going to get when you go up quickly. This is like what you get with Klay Thompson, where you're going to draw fouls, but you're also just going to have defenses overreacting. I talked in the earlier one about how you really want to read the drop big, because this guy coming over shouldn't concern you. This guy trying to trap you, that's what you read. But this guy's dropped. Just go into it. Just shoot it. You're going to be able to get this one. Between the screen and the distance, you're going to be able to get it. Instead, one dribble to the corner, much tougher shot. Still contested, by the way, the exact same, which is to say not nearly enough to affect the shot, just way harder. And I'm watching, Yoke's been throwing these passes a lot lately. We're going to see where, he's such an accurate passer, and he's missing his guy, but he's missing him in a way that I think is intentional. You're going to see he's got his guy here, and he's going to throw it a little bit to right here. And I wonder if the reason is because this is a 2 option here, right? This defender is guarding 2 guys. So he throws it with the momentum carrying him this way to get it the swing pass, almost like he's leading him in to the swing pass, and they knock this one down. But he's had a couple of these lately where he always hits it in the exact same way to the inside of the guy leading towards the skip pass. So the Nuggets are coming out of a timeout. It's 9 points. There's 8 minutes to go. Murray's on the bench. And the Nuggets run one of the plays they've been running for 7 years. I know this is a new piece, but you got KCP. This is a wedge roll action. Right as it reverses, you set the screen, and then Jokic gets an ISO. This is a stabilizing play. You call a timeout, coming out, let your best player cook. But look, KCP doesn't know the play. And by the way, this specific play, KCP has actually screwed up a handful of times this year. Again, he's new. But, I think by now,
he should probably recognize this action, especially coming out of a timeout. And you can see Jokic gets mad. He's waiting for it. And he decides to instead shoot a turnaround three-pointer. And it's kind of like an FU play. Like, Yoke's got to be better. I mean, he can't get this frustrated. He has to, work with these guys. But this does feel to me like you see him. He's like, God damn it. Out of a timeout. We don't get the play. Now I have to ISO Anthony Davis. F it, I'll just shoot a three. Doesn't go. And the game's kind of like, there you go. 9 points, them going the other way. But it just shows you, I mean, we're trying to figure out Jokic's frustration level. Like, why is he playing the way he is? Stuff. Not that it's an excuse, but he always, plays like this seem to drive him extra crazy. I'd love to see AG cut off of these. When he's the guy on the wing here, especially when you have a shooter in the corner, but when you're the guy in the wing, he should be an automatic cut. If he cuts on this one, you're going to leave LeBron having to either pick up the cut or stay in the corner. And you're going to see there's the delayed cut because first Bruce Brown goes through. But cross this. You cut here, and then AG cuts into the middle, and you have him punished. Instead, he stands there the whole time. You can see Yoke's looking at him like, okay, you cut here, LeBron's going to be in a tight spot. I'll probably have the skip pass. He doesn't. Dribbles out of it, a little frustrated. Now it's perfect time. Cut to the basket here. You have the wide open. I mean, look, LeBron's guarding two guys. And he doesn't care about AG on the three. You wait, nothing happens, and you end up just getting this like forced 3-point shot with no rebounding.